I'd just like to thank these two gentlemen to my right. I'm very, very grateful. These fine doctors got these bullets out of me, and I'm very grateful of that. I've received excellent care since I got to Delray Medical Center. Everybody has been so nice. I have to give a shout out to the trauma step-down unit because they are a well-oiled machine. I'm telling you, these nurses and staff are fantastic. So, and these guys have been fantastic. So, thank you.
I know you've been asked this question before, but how fortunate do you feel? I mean, we're talking an assault rifle, military grade. We're talking literally a death machine in the hands of somebody who wishes to do you harm.
Yeah.
How fortunate? Angels watching out. You were just quick on your feet. How do you describe that moment?
It's nothing I did. I did nothing but sit there and get shot. So I have to say there was a lot of divine intervention. For example, the bullet that struck me in the jaw caught the edge of the door frame around the window by 1/4 of an inch. And that's what slowed down the bullet enough that otherwise it would have taken my jaw out, and as Dr. Norkin said. So that was a miracle. And yeah, like I said, I did nothing but sit there. There's not much I could do. I didn't have time to duck. That was my plan. I was in the process of my brain saying duck. It was too late. Yeah.
The people that perpetrated this, were they after goods? Were they after money? Were they just upset over something?
From what I understand now, this was a gang of between 120 and 150 guys with machine guns that had been run out of Port-au-Prince. The leader of the gang lived in this area by St. Mark, and because we were Americans with a new vehicle in the lead, they thought they would hit the cash cow and take our vehicle and take our money, etc. And that's why there was a big dispute over my team. The vehicle I was in got shot up, so it was inoperable. But the other vehicle, the new vehicle, the bad guys wanted to keep that vehicle for themselves. Well, it was the only way I could get to the hospital. So that ensued in a big argument. We need the vehicle to get me to the hospital. So, yeah.
Can you talk about the work you were doing there and why you were there?
Well, usually I go strictly to do medical missions or to do a clinic. This time was particularly, we're trying to get a 45-foot boat that we have in Fort Lauderdale over to Haiti. And I was going to actually pilot the boat over to Haiti with a few other volunteers. And we have a lagoon on the property over there. And I say we, Living Waters Ministries of the Palm Beaches. And the lagoon is both shallow and narrow. So one of my jobs was to go in and make sure that the boat would fit through the lagoon, so we'd have a place to store the boat once we got it there. So that was part of my mission. And of course, when I go, I have to see patients. So I had a suitcase full of medicine.
Will this stop you from future missions?
Absolutely not. No. I see a lot of God all over this. Even though it was a tragedy, I showed up at the hospital here. I couldn't close my left hand, and now I'm right back to baseline. So God has preserved all of my functions. Like the two doctors said, I don't have any deficits. So, I see God in this, and so I'm going back. Absolutely. Yeah.
Describe the attack. Just kind of walk us through again what happened.
It's an 8-hour trip to the campus, and 4 hours into the trip, about halfway, we went through a town called St. Mark, and after getting outside of the city, we're in the country, and I noticed that there was no other vehicles on the highway, and I thought this is kind of odd because there's always vehicles. So there was 3 Americans in my vehicle and 1 Haitian, and same in the vehicle in front of me. We got to a certain stretch of the road where there was a couple of guys on each side of the road with piles of tires and cans of gasoline or kerosene. And this is what they usually use to make roadblocks. So I thought, this is kind of odd, something's going to go down, which is kind of common. Every 2 or 3 trips, we get a roadblock, and they ask us for maybe some medicine, maybe a little cash, maybe a baseball cap, whatever we have to give up. It's a small price to pay. So, but these 2 guys, I could see them on their cell phones looking ahead. They were calling ahead. So I said to the driver, "Yeah, slow down a little, something's not right here." And then we passed a little village on our left, and there was only 2 guys standing out front of the houses. Everybody else had cleared out, and I thought, this is strange. You never see a village with nobody but 2 guys. And the 2 guys just went like this. And I said, that's odd. Does that mean slow down? Does that mean danger? What is it? This is all going through my head. And then we come around a corner, and here's a roadblock. And they threw the match on the tires, and the flames go up. And so the vehicle in front of us comes to a stop. And immediately the bad guys started shooting their guns, jumping on top of the vehicle, and started pulling people out. And I said, oh no, God be with them, we got to save ourselves. Back up, full reverse. So the driver, a friend of mine, he's 30 years old, I believe, Drew is his name, he hit full reverse. And we have 4-wheel drive vehicles. We can normally go right off road. But this was a flood zone, so there was about 8 or 10 foot ditch on either side. So they had us, there was no escaping. But we went reverse pretty quickly, got it into a driveway to turn around, and then one of the bullets hit the tire. And it was a hailstorm of bullets coming at us, because as soon as we started in reverse, every guy that had a gun started shooting at us. So the tire goes down. And now Drew is trying to find a reverse. He finally gets it in a reverse, and the tire's spinning, it's smoking, and we get back up onto the highway, and we're going full bore 5 miles an hour down the highway. And I can see the guys in the side view mirror on foot catching up to us, and they're still shooting away. And then I see 2 guys on a motorcycle in the side view, and they each had a machine gun, and I said to the guys driving, I said, okay. I said, we're going to get shot at in a second. When I say duck, everybody duck. And the next thing I know, I'm looking down at my body, and my body's going like this. And I said, oh no, this can't be good. So I thought, I got to yell at these guys. They don't know I've been shot. So I'm yelling, hey guys, I'm dead. I'm dead. I've been shot. Stop the truck, surrender, or you're going to get shot too. And they don't hear me. So I'm thinking, well, I'm above my body. I'm not in my body, so I got to be in a different realm here. So the only one that can hear me is God. So I start talking to God. I said, God, I got a son and a wife that love me, and that need me, and that I love dearly. I said, this cannot be my time. I said, I put decades into serving you around the world, and I just want to keep serving you. Put me back in, and I will take your word till the ends of the earth. And he did. As soon as I finished that prayer, I felt settled back into my body, and I yelled again, guys, I've been shot. Immediately they turned around, stopped the truck, and they realized that I'd been shot. And I looked to my left, and there was 3 guys at my window pointing their guns at me and squinting one eye. I said, oh my gosh, here we go again. They're going to finish me off. So I played dead. I flopped over on the seat, and I just laid still. And I was wondering, is somebody still going to shoot me? So I'm kind of wincing a little. And Drew, the driver, tells me that one of the guys put his gun right up to the back of my head. And just before he squeezed the trigger, a guy showed up from nowhere and said to Drew, "It's going to be okay." Put his hand on him, and Drew said he felt the peace of God come through his body. And then he turned to the guy with the gun, said something in Creole, and the guy pulled the gun back out and set the gun down. The next thing I know, I hear the door open, and some guys clamber on top of me, and they empty out my pockets, and they take my fanny pack off and take my cell phone, $11 cash, and that's all they got from me. And they flipped me over a couple times like I was a piece of trash, and they left the truck, and that's when I heard the big fight over the vehicle. My guys were desperate. We got to get Doug to the hospital, so that's how that went down.
So the hailstorm of bullets that you spoke about, was that when you first came up to the roadblock?
Yeah, when we first came up, they were shooting them in the air to let us know we mean business. But they were acting, usually it's a very calm robbery. Usually they just very politely ask for, like I said, medicine or whatever. But this was vicious. They were jumping on the vehicle and pounding on the glass and shooting their guns. I thought, this is really, I don't know what had sparked such aggression in them. But apparently this is a very dangerous gang. And by the way, I've been following that story in Haiti. They're now 300 strong. The day after I got shot, the police went and confronted the gang. They had 2 armored vehicles and a convoy of police cars. 2 police officers got shot and died, and I'm told that six gang members got killed. But the police had to retreat because they were losing the battle.
How'd you eventually get off the island? How'd you eventually get off? You were airlifted?
I rode in the back of the pickup truck. If you can picture this, all the guys are over 6 foot, and they're laying on top of the luggage in the SUV, hanging their arms down to try to stabilize me. One was holding pressure, one was trying to hold C-spine on me. And I think that was maybe an hour trip to an outside hospital. But they got me stabilized. I'll give them that. The doctors, because I was bleeding profusely, and they got the bleeding stopped, and a couple of IVs started. And then I went by ambulance to Port-au-Prince Hospital, and I stayed there while people were calling around South Florida to find a hospital that would accept me. Gunshot wounds from Haiti. Nobody wanted to accept me until we called Delray Medical Center, and I believe I spoke to Dr. Gonzalez, I believe, and he said, "I need a doctor to present the patient." Well, the doctors there spoke Creole only. So I said, "Well, wait a minute. I'm a physician. I'll present my own case." So he said, "That'd be fine." So I got to talk to him, and I presented my case, and he said, "Are you kidding me? We'll take you. Get yourself over here." So I went by air ambulance to Fort Lauderdale Executive, and they were very nice. They picked up my wife there because we live right next door to there, and my wife rode in the ambulance here. And they were waiting for me here, and I was under this doctor's surgery shortly after I got here. So.
What does your wife think about you going back?
Yeah. I don't know that I'll ever get her to Haiti now, because we were planning on her going with me. I've been going for 30 years, and she's never gone with me. And we've been married for 20 years, so I haven't been successful. I don't think I'll get her back. But as for me, she wants me to go wherever God would have me go. So she's 100% supportive on that.
Do you feel it's a miracle you're even here, you're talking?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Because I lost a lot of blood. And we were going, I'm guessing, well, you have to see Haitian roads to appreciate it, but I'm guessing we were doing 60 to 80 miles an hour down the highway, and there's potholes, there's speed bumps, and I'm getting airborne with this neck injury every time. That's a miracle that my spinal cord didn't get severed. So, yeah.
People have out-of-body experiences all the time. Have you told everyone you come in contact with what happened to you now that you've experienced it? Is it odd?
Yeah, well, I had a similar thing happen. I had malaria when I was in the jungle in Honduras. I had malaria for a week, and it was cerebral malaria, and I was pronounced dead, and I was in a hut. In fact, they covered me with flowers, and 4 hours later, I sat up and I had all these flowers on me. Well, what had happened is the ladies in the village had marched around the hut for 4 hours, praying to God to revive me, and He did, and I sat up, and so it's not the first time.
Does this change your mission or anything you'd like to do? Would you like to help try to change things in Haiti after what happened?
One thing we'd like to change, and this is a shout out to anybody that can help with this, for Living Waters Ministries of the Palm Beaches. We have that boat. If anybody could help us get that boat over to Haiti, we can pick up people from Port-au-Prince then with the boat and go around this dangerous highway right to the land. Another thing we'd like to put in is an airstrip in the Northwest Honor Land, and then commercial flights could come right into the Northwest. We don't have to go through Port-au-Prince and this dangerous road. So that would be fantastic.
Avoid the area
Yeah,
that you got.
yeah. So that's 2 ways to avoid it, and really good ways.
Can
So,
you describe just a little more about when you believed you had died and you're floating above your body looking down? Can you
Yeah.
tell us that again?
yeah. It's the most bizarre feeling. I'm a big game hunter, and I've shot many deer in the neck. So I know it's a good shot, and that's the first thing I thought when I was above myself and I saw my arms quivering. I knew right what it was. I said, "Guy got a neck shot on me. Beautiful shot, but I'm done." So I was pretty disappointed, and you know, I knew there was nothing I could do but reach out to God. I mean, the guys couldn't hear me. It confirmed that I wasn't in my body. I wasn't able to speak. So, but some people ask me, did you see bright lights or anything? No, I was pretty focused on me and getting back in my body. That's what I was focused on. I didn't want to leave my wife and my son. And I didn't want to cut short my mission, because I've always felt, God has a big plan for me, and I need to finish strong. And I think this was the devil's way to take me out, and I wasn't having any part of it.